Hi guys, and welcome to my guide on how to use the AMX 1390 effectively. It's a tank I had a lot of trouble with myself, so I thought now that I've kind of mastered it, I'm getting very good with it, I can play it effectively, that I would pass on the knowledge to you if any of you are struggling. It took me probably 60 games or so, maybe 70 games, to get used to this tank and really see it for what it is and the great tank that it is. For all of you that are subscribed to my channel for Call of Duty videos, I've got one special coming out, tutorial in the next couple of weeks. I realise it's been a while, but I've really been working hard on this as well, and it's difficult for me with work and things to produce as much content as I used to around the tutorial front. Well, I hope you appreciate that, and I hope that for the meantime that a video of World of Tanks will suffice for you. I know the majority of people who watch my videos watch it for COD, so appreciate your patience. So, I don't really know what to do right now, to be honest. It's a tier 10 game. I know that going up here would probably be my safest bet for getting spots on. I don't want to go directly on the edge, because if I get shot by any one of those tanks, and if I'm spotted and I don't know, if I get shot by any one of them top tiers anyway, I'm going to take a huge hit. Some of which could even one-shot me. Now the golden rule in the AMX 1390 is don't be the first spotted. That 1390 on the other team is fucked because he's way too aggressive. Now my first tip for this tank is don't play aggressively. It is an opportunist tank. You need to hide and create the opportunity to fire some shots into the sides of tanks on the other team. So at the moment I want to just break down that wall, just so I can maybe get some spots on if anyone's in the distance there, because I've got a decent spotting range on this. Maybe I could sit in that bush on binos, but I wonder if I've been spotted there from that AMX 1390. I don't think I was in hindsight, but yeah, it's worth wondering about. So this 1390, as I said, this is an opportunity. I've seen a couple of shots come off from the distance. I'm hoping the majority of the base campers have already fired, so they won't get to fire at me again for a while. So I take out that first guy, that first 1390. He was always going to die quickly as he was way too aggressive. Now I've made it to my next spot. Before I move again, I need to reset up. I need to know that the big guns in their base have fired and that they don't have any shots left for me. So I'm going to sit here and try to get shots on the 1390. That E100 kindly destroys my cover, but then, you know, he does absorb a shot, so he has his uses. So what I need to do here is I need to get a shot on this. What is that a Waffendrake? Yeah, it's a Waffendrake. I need to get a shot on him. So I'm trying not to give my position away. Luckily, I get the opportunity here where he tries to back away from the E100. Now this is it. I see the big gun on top of the cliff there. Yes, I'm referring to him as the big gun. So I reload, because I need to wait for this E100 to manufacture a situation where I can dominate that guy. So I need him to fire at the E100. I do believe the other guy's got a very long reload. I don't know the exact amount. I need to ensure that he is fired at somebody and that I'm not taking that hit. So I think you'll see in a second he fires at the E100, or the guy just over me at the PTA, and I believe he might miss. Oh no, he's gone to the cliff for some reason instead of us, so that's my opportunity anyway. This is where the AMX 1390 comes into its own. We circle round this boy. He's a tier 10 with a massive gun, but is he a match for the French? No, he's not a match for the French. Luckily, even though my kill nearly gets stolen, I do manage to get that one. And let me just pause this here actually, because this is a good example of where the AMX 1390 really shines. Okay, so we've got these on top of the hill, and they're covering actual hill. I've got this dear E100 who I believe is on 100% health, who is of great use to me. Then their whole team is here, so I expect the heavies to push round. It would be logical for them to keep pushing. But this AMX 1390 and the PTA I expect to come through here or round here. Either way, they're going to cross this middle ground and attempt to either cap or break their way into the cap or dominate up this way. So my next logical step always thinking in the 1390 is to spot anything that comes across here. Because at the end of the day, we are still a light tank at this stage. Believe the Lorraine is the first time you're a medium tank. So I'll have beams all the way across here, and that'll help the E100, and even the PTA will be useful in that situation. Let's resume. So I'm wondering which bush I should sit in. I finally decide in a minute. It does take me a little bit too long to decide which bush I'd like to sit in. Actually, I do it just in the nick of time, as you'll see, because I don't get spotted somehow. I don't know quite what happens, but for some reason I end up not spotted. So I jump in this bush to my right, because I initially was trying to see if anyone was coming this way, but it doesn't seem like they are. And so I decided to sit in this bush so I can see the whole thing. It makes more sense. So here I am reloaded. This Carnarvon is in a situation that he shouldn't have let himself get into, really coming across open ground when it's this near the end of the game. So I go for the track. This is what I mean when I say manufacture the situations. You've got to think, yeah, someone will be coming across there, so I can get side shots if I spot them. Or, also going through my head is, I am more used to this E100 if I'm spotting for him. Because I might not be able to penetrate whatever came through there. Now, I'm off to take on the next Waffenträger. So I'm going to leave these two shots. I should penetrate both shots. I obviously could be horribly unlucky and something could go hideously wrong. But I want to conserve my ammo, and with auto-loaders, obviously, you have to reload at the opportune moment. And I feel I'm best used to my E100 here if I just get over there and offer support as quickly as possible. And I should, in theory, have enough alpha to kill this guy, although I quite frequently get below 200 rolls. So he's probably aimed in, so I take my time. So one shot there, and then another shot there. He should have snapshotted me. He might have won the game. So my theory here, again, how can I support this E100? Do not play for yourself in this tank is another tip. The best way I can support him is stopping anyone flanking him, because he's not exactly the fastest guy on the field. So I gotta get my reload, make sure I'm reloaded, and I try and intercept anything that's going to try and flank him, because I know something has got to try and flank him. It was the only logical thing to do in this situation, is flank that E100 and plough shot after shot into his derriere, while someone else is sort of pinning him there like that Waffenträger. T-57 actually takes the bait here, and I completely dominate him, firing one shot into him, a second shot into him here, and then I get myself in a little bit of a pickle. Shouldn't have gone that side of the rock. It's just, there's no need. But anyway, he's dumb enough to fire there, so I can just kill him. My next move is, okay, let's take out this Waffenträger. I can probably just rush him and shoot him with my 3 shots and actually survive. I know I can survive, but you know, I was expecting to get the kill, which is kind of why I traded this off. But that was really unfortunate for me. Now I reload again, just because I really should have loaded epicICYL, having a look at the fact that it's an IS-8 there. But then the Leopard PTA I thought would be no problem at all, and I probably wouldn't get myself into a situation where this IS-8 would dominate me. And unfortunately, this is kind of where my game ends. Because I shoot the IS-8 in the arse and it bounces. But I hope you have really seen what this tank is good for. It's not the most well, it's fun to play, but it's not trading shots. It's not my, oh, I bounced this shot, side scrape out, you know, it's nothing like that. It is a case of taking your pride in outsmarting your opponents, which is kind of what the speed and agility is all about with the French. So yeah, oh, it's the front of the IS-8. Ah, that explains the issue I was having with penetrating the IS-8. But anyway, I hope this really helps you. It was difficult for me to learn how to play this tank, but now I've got it. It is so much fun. It is so overpowered once you know how to use it. It's an absolute animal. Tier 10 game, 3.5k damage. I will see you in the garage just for a summary, but that'll be it. Cheers, guys. So I had a little bit of a problem recording this, but I did a ton of damage to tanks that out-tiered me massively. Took out a tier 10, a couple of tier 10s I think actually. Did over 3,500 damage, over 6,000 XP, ace tanker, obviously it's not, it's 6,000 base XP, and a top gun. I hope this helped you. Thanks a lot.